mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says, Sri Aurobindo's message is an immortal sunlight radiating over the future. Beyond all preferences and limitations, there is a ground of mutual understanding where all can meet and find their harmony. It is the aspiration for a divine consciousness. The more we advance on the way, the more the need of the divine presence becomes imperative and indispensable. With my blessing, says our Divine Mother. Words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo to certain phrases and passages of our Divine Mother under the question and answers of 1929 of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother asks, what do you want the yoga for? To get power? Does power here mean the power to communicate one's own experience to others? What does it precisely mean? Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, power is a general term. It is not confined to a power to communicate. The most usual form of power is control over things, persons, events, forces. In some of the phrases, our Divine Mother says, what is required is concentration upon the divine with a view to an integral and absolute consecration to its will and purpose. Is its will different from its purpose? For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo explains, the two words have not the same meaning. Purpose means the intention, the object in view towards which the divine is working. Will is a wider term than that. In one of the phrases, our Divine Mother says, concentrate in the heart. What is concentration? What is meditation? For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, concentration means gathering of the consciousness into one center and fixing it in one object or in one idea or in one condition. Meditation is a general term which can include many kinds of inner activity. A fire is burning there. It is the divinity in you, your true being. Hear its voice, follow its dictates. I have never seen this fire in me, yet I feel, I know the divinity in me. I feel, I hear its voice, and I try at most to follow its dictates. Should I doubt my feeling? For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, no, what you feel is probably the intimation from the psychic being through the mind. To be directly conscious of the psychic fire, one must have the subtle vision and subtle sense active, or else the direct action of the psychic acting as a manifest power in the consciousness. We have all met in previous lives. Who precisely are we? Do both of you remember me? Did I often serve you for this work in the past is one of the questions of a sadhak. For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, it is a general principle announced which covers all who are called to the work. At the time, the mother was seeing the past or part of it, of those to whom she spoke, and that is why she said this. At present, we are too much occupied with the crucial work in the physical consciousness to go into these things. Moreover, we find it encouraged a sort of vital romanticism in the sadhaks, which made them attach more importance to these things than to the hard work of the sadhana. So we have stopped speaking of past lives and personalities. There are two parts of yoga, one of tapasya, discipline, the other of surrender. Our Divine Mother says, once you interpreted my vision as Agni, the fire of purification, and tapasya, producing the sun of truth, what path do I follow? What place has tapasya? In the place of surrender or in the path of surrender? The sadhak questions, can one do absolutely without tapasya in the path of surrender? For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, there is a tapasya that takes place automatically as a result of surrender.
Of breathing men, no sound, only the living nearness of the soul. As thus she passed in that mysterious place, through room and home, through door and open door. She felt herself made one with all she saw, a sealed identity within her woke. She knew herself the beloved of the Supreme. These gods and goddesses were he and she, the adorer and adored, self-lost and one.
Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says there is a tapasya that takes place automatically as a result of surrender, and there is a discipline that one carries out by one's own unaided effort is the latter that is meant in the two parts of yoga. But Agni, as the fire of tapasya, can burn in either case. The sadhak says the mother has stated that the first effect of yoga is to take away the mental control so that the ideas and desires which were so long checked before are surprisingly prominent and create difficulties. For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says they were not prominent because they were getting some satisfactions, or at least the vital generally was getting indulged in one way or another. When they are no longer indulged, then they become obstreperous. But they are not new forces created by the yoga. They were all there all the time. What is meant by the mental control being removed is that the mental simply kept them in check but could not remove them. So, in the yoga, the mental has to be replaced by the psychic or the spiritual self control, which could do what the vital cannot. Only many sadhaks do not make this exchange in time and withdraw the mental control merely. The sadhak says the Divine Mother has stated the strength of such impulses as those of sex lies usually in the fact that people take too much notice of them. What are the other impulses referred to? For this, our Lord says it refers to the strong vital impulses. The whole world is full of poison. You take it in with every breath. How long is a sadhak subject to this fear of catching contagion? I feel I won't catch such a contagion now. Is my feeling trustworthy? For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, I don't know that it is. One has to go very far on the path before one is so secure as that. The sadhak says the Divine Mother has stated one who dances and jumps and screams has the feeling that he is somehow very unusual in his excitement, and his vital nature takes great pleasure in that. Does she mean that one should be usual instead of unusual in one's excitement during spiritual experience? For this, our Lord says, the mother did not mean that one must be usual in one's excitement at all. She meant that the man is not only excited but also wants to be unusual or extraordinary in his excitement. The excitement itself is bad, and the desire to seem extraordinary is worse. The sadhak continues to say, but the mother has stated, but to those who possess the necessary basis and foundation, we say, on the contrary, aspire and draw. Does this capacity to aspire and draw indicate a great advance already made? For this, our Lord says, no, it is a comparatively elementary stage. Question: how can one distinguish between a dream of deeper origin and a vision? For this, our Lord says there is no criterion, but one can easily distinguish if one is in the inward condition, not sleep, in which most visions take place by the nature of the impression made. A vision in dream is more difficult to distinguish from a vivid dream experience, but one gets to feel the difference. Question: sometimes one remembers the dream, sometimes one does not. Why is it so? For this, our Lord says it depends on the connection between the two states of consciousness at the time of waking. Usually, there is a turnover of the consciousness.
On a golden seat, one sat, whose shape no vision could define. Only one felt the world's unattainable sound, a power of which he was the staying force, an invisible beauty goal of the world's desire, a sun of which all knowledge is deep, a greatness without whom no life could
These are the words of our Divine Mother and our Lord Sri Aurobindo.